Hello friends, I am going to do a very rough video real quickly for you. I hope it's quick, and I just want to show you what it's like when I do a Facebook party so it can give you an idea and get your mind wrapped around it. So let me just show you, for example, we're going to do a mock party. I have a party written here on August 18th, and it's at 9 p.m. And if I count backwards 6 days, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, my party template is set up to run for 6. And so it says here on the 13th, to set her up, and then it actually says about a week to 10 days earlier I have it in my calendar on when to contact her. So I give her a heads up, oh, your party's around the bend, it's time to start doing your pre-inviting, and I'll be setting you up on this day so that she's expecting that. I also will get in touch with her the day before by messenger and let her know that I'm setting her up the next day, so to be ready with her guest list. And this prompts her that if there are people she hasn't heard from, as far as asking if they want an invitation, if she hasn't heard back from them, she can get on the ball so that in the morning she's ready to invite her people. Okay, so I've got her on my calendar, and now what I do is I take out my Facebook party binder, and I do this for the quarter. One of the things I keep on my binder is the hostess rewards. If you're new, you're going to want to keep that double free book chart. I have 4 tabs in my binder. They are live. That's the place that I put a party once it started and there are people invited. I have upcoming. I'm kind of bad about getting these parties in here, but I should, and I like to set them up monthly. So as I come into August, that's one of the reasons this is in here, is because we're about to come in to a brand new month. And then I have tracking. These are parties that have completed, and I've put in the hostess's order, and we are waiting on those to ship. And then I have completed once everyone has their books. I put a little tab with a sticky note at the top for each hostess. They get their own little sticky note with their checklist, the people who have been invited, and then this is the sheet that I really work from during the party. And that's the people who are going, who have commented for a wish list, who have ordered, and who have booked parties. And then the ones I'm talking to as well about joining. After I've closed out a party, I take their little sticky note and I stick it on the side here so that the only tabs that I have up are the people whose parties are currently live and I'm working with them. Okay, so what is in this binder? Well, I've got 3 main things that I use for each party. I have a checklist, and this is literally everything that goes into one of my parties. And then I have an invited list where I just write down a couple, maybe 3 days before the party, sometimes 4 days before the party, I write down everyone that this hostess has invited. The people who have not RSVP'd, just the inviteds. And I'll tell you why I do that in just a moment. And then I have guest information, and this is what I'm working on the night of the party. And I've written here their name, the ages that they commented on, how old are your readers. Then I've written down the notes of the books that they're asking for. I don't even use this column. This is just a checklist that I got off of our Royal Archives. I don't use this column because I like to highlight the people who've ordered. It gives me a really good look. I've circled the people who are winners, that I've private messaged them with their prize and offered an upgrade to book a party. More about that later. And then when I go back and pick the winners, you can see the tally marks of the comments. So that's what I work on. Oh, one other thing is if they've commented for a wish list, as I make and post their wish list, I keep that W next to me right there, so that that just helps me to know if I have posted that or not. Okay, so that's a little bit about my binder, and I'm going to make my checklist and everything available to you. I will put them in the files so that you'll have them. Let's talk now about the order that we hostess coach. All right, so you have a hostess. Your job is to work very closely with her and get her excited about the free books that she's going to earn and the good time that we're going to have together with her friends. So, as I told you, I get in touch with them about 10 days before their party, and I ask her, if I haven't already, if she's interested in doing what I do, because we can make this party her launch party. And if she is interested, I get her the recruiting information. I let her know where she can sign up. I like to get a personal phone call in there with her if I can. I invite her to a take-a-look. Whatever I need to do to have her join before the 6th day point when we set up her party, because if she does that, then I can take her consultant ID, which we usually have within 24 hours. She doesn't need her kit or anything. You all have had this happen, so I know you know this. I have her create an e-show on her own event and get me the link. And then when I upload her party, we're running her party off of her website. So that is that's one of the reasons that I contact them 10 days before their party starts. Ideally, a week before I set up their party is when I'm getting in touch with them to talk about it being their launch party. Now, from there, let's assume that they decided not to join. They're more than happy to let you keep all of the commission, for which you're very thankful. All right, well then, you're going to get in touch with them 2 days before the setup of the party, which is about a week to 8 days before. Remind them, let them know how excited you are, ask them if they've had a chance to make their wish list yet, and go ahead and tell them that you'll be setting them up and when. I set my parties up religiously the 6th day before the party. I was told that 6 days is the sweet spot. It works for me. That's just what I do. It's in my calendar. I don't like to set up too far in advance because I don't want the event to get stale. I want those posts to be fresh for when people are coming in and RSVPing. So then the morning that I set their party up, I make them a host and I message them and I say, okay, you're ready to go. You can add in all the people who've said that they want an invitation, and you can keep checking with the people you haven't heard from. Alrighty, then I'm going to read this off a list so I don't miss anything here. 4 to 5 days before her party, I send her a reminder, a save the date, or I've been using the save the date video with all the Great Little Books in there, and sending that to her and asking her to individually message that to her friends, just a few at a time. If she goes too fast, Facebook will block her. But individually message it out to those friends, and also take that video and put it on her wall so that people can look at it, and people who want an invitation can say, oh, I want to join in. Okay, keep an eye on the event, and then 3 days before, remind the host to be commenting, be playing the games, and if the How Old Is Your Reader post has gone up, ask her to tag the people who haven't commented for wish list, especially those who have said going or maybe. I used to do this, but I think it's a little more effective if the hostess does this. If you don't have a motivated hostess or she's just way too busy, you can go ahead and tag them. If it won't let you tag in the comments, go ahead and tag in a completely separate post and post the How Old Is Your Reader graphic again, or a different one. The day of the party, I send my host a graphic that says my party is today, like or comment if you want an invitation and I missed you, and she posts that on her wall as well. And then of course I keep a chat open with her during the actual party. Now all of this is just textbook what we're doing. I'm often communicating with my host. They'll have an individual question, they'll ask something, they'll have an issue come up. So you will be talking with your host between all of the days leading up to the party, I'm sure. Then also kind of prep your host for the fact that she's going to want to be following up with the people who either didn't make it to the party or didn't order yet the day after. And I like her to say something like, hey, were you able to check out the party yesterday? Did you see some great books that you like? I'm sure I sure did, is what I have her say. And then I have her ask the question, does midnight tonight give you enough time to order your books? And that way, the person on the other end is kind of asked to throw the ball back. So they could write back and say, yep, no problem, taking care of that today. Or, oh, I could really use some extra time, in which case we can extend. Or if she's not planning to order. But it's a nice way of asking it without just coming right out and saying, hey, are you ordering books? So that's what I like to have my hosts do. Alrighty, now let me show you. We're going to rewind back to that day 6 before the party, and I'm going to show you how I set mine up and how I work them. All right, are you ready to set up a party with me? Here we go. I'm going to share my screen with you. And the first thing we're going to do to set up our party is, here we go. Come on, let me click there. We're going to set up the e-show. So are you ready to set up an e-show? Here we are. We click on My Account, and then I click on Add Event. And I'm going to set up Faith's party. I'm going to have it, I never change this date. I just have it start whenever it comes up, but often I will change this date and back it up a little bit. Today I'm just going to leave it as is, and I'm going to type in Faith's Facebook. And then I like to just use party with an exclamation point for the last name, and it just shows up on my list as Facebook. Wait, I can't even say that. Never mind. This is where you type in your host email. I'm going to leave that blank for now. I will always, and you will always, as the site owner, you will get an email anytime someone orders from your store. This email is so that the hostess gets that email as well, so she knows who's ordered. Or if it's your launch party, this is where you type my email. Okay? And that way I will get a notification for thank you posts as well as you. All right, let's save that. And then we can view it in our list, and we go down and we find Faith's Facebook party. There we go. And we have a link right here. We're going to come back for this link in a little while. First, we're going to go to Facebook, and we're going to set her up. So, for some reason, I can't get over in my laptop with this. It won't let me move over to my tab. So we're just going to open this tab here. And we are going to go to Events and set up a new event. So we'll create a new event. Here we go. We're going to upload a photo. I keep my headers in one folder, and we're just going to take this one. We're going to call it Faith's Usborne Books Party Online. And then I like to say, wherever you can relax and access Facebook. And her party is going to start on, what do I want to do here? I think I'm going to show you how to set it up. So we're going to pretend it's 6 days before her party. So we're going to set it up for the 29th, to start on the 29th. No, I'm so sorry, don't let me confuse you. We're going to count 6, right? So today's day 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a party for Wednesday the 3rd. And then for the description, I often just go to another previous party. So let me go to one that I set up earlier. And I hope this isn't too tedious for you, especially for those of you who really like to know and see it done. So I've got an upcoming event that I've set up. Here's Jessica's. We're going to use hers. And I go into the description. Whoa, a little fast there. Sorry about that. And I just copy and paste what I've said here. And you can always go in and check that out later. Alrighty. All right. And I changed the date. So we said Wednesday, August 3rd at 9 p.m. Then I'm going to change the shopping link because we made a different shopping link, remember? So we're going to go back and grab that and paste that in here. But first, I go down to the dates. I unclick guests can invite friends. If they have friends to invite, we want them to host their own party. And I always do the drawing 2 days after. So if this party is on the 3rd, then this will take place on the 5th. And I create the event. Now I'm going to go grab my, all right, I'm going to go grab my link. There we are. And go to Faith's party and copy. We're going to go back in here and we're going to edit it and paste in the link. So, ta-da. Now that link is in there. It's active. I've got everything in. Oh, I forgot to change the time. It's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to save that. And now this is all ready for adding in our co-host. And the way we add in our co-host is by editing the event again and going right here. You must be friends with your hostess, so don't forget that step in order to invite her. And once you've saved that, she's automatically inviting. And the next thing I do is I simply go to Post My Party and log in. And I have a template all set up for Facebook parties that run for 6 days. So I click on Parties over here on the left. If you're not yet signed up with Post My Party, text me or message me for my affiliate link. And once you do that, I will also be able to share these templates with you and you just have to change the wording. You might change the graphics, but the whole thing is set up for you. And let me just talk you through that. I clicked over here on parties, I clicked on lists, and I clicked schedule new. Now I'm going to choose a template. I choose party template. I do a personal event. This is the way we were trained to do so that they are not public. And I choose Faith Usborne Party. And my start on date is always going to be the day I'm setting it up, because I always set it up on day 1 to run for day 6. So I start today. I choose the time zone. We're doing Eastern time zone. I will let you know if you're doing parties with other time zones. I have messed this up every single time. Post My Party recommends that you do the time zone in the host's area. But when I do it, I just get all confused because it's 3 hours ahead. I can't tell when my posts are going up, and I've gotten it wrong. So that right at party start time, I'm on the wrong time zone. So I tend to set it up in Eastern, but explain the time zone when it will happen in the event description. And I find that Facebook automatically tells the person when it will be based on the time zone that they're looking at Facebook in. So I haven't had a problem with that. If y'all are better at that than I am, feel free to use the time zone thing, but I have been sticking with just doing everything on my time zone and letting it run for the host according to what time it is for her and her party start, but in my time zone. It also helps me know what time my party is in my time. Okay, so we're setting this up, and it says replace host with, replace link with, replace text with. All throughout my template, I have those words in my document so that every time it's appropriate to say Faith and I are excited for her party, then I type in Faith for host. Any place that Faith's eShow link that we just set up is going to appear in the party, it's going to be anywhere that I'm replacing with the word link, and I've got that all set up as well. So there's Faith's party in there. And text, what I like to do is type in Faith '(S), because I have a lot of places where I say Faith's shopping link is right here or something like that. So then I create it, and bang, I've got this this wonderful party all set up and ready to go. And you'll see all of the day of the event posts are on day 6. You can see that there. The very next thing that you have to do, though, is if the party is at 9 o'clock, you have to make sure your template is set up for a 9 o'clock party. And I do that by looking at my very first post at the start of the party, and sure enough, it says 8:58. That means I started it right. If it was an 8:30 party, I would go right here, and I would back it up 30 minutes and update it. And then I would check that post again, and sure enough, 8:25. I happen to have another party that night at 8:30. So now all of these posts are warning me that they're duplicated, and we don't want that. We can adjust them. You can do a party half an hour apart if you want to, but you can't do them right at the same time because Facebook will think that you're spamming. So now we're going to go forward 30 minutes. We're going to update, and we're back to 9 o'clock. Let me just show you that. The other thing, if you'll notice that these 2 posts failed because it's 11 o'clock now, and I had them scheduled for 10:10. So I can go in here and I can edit that. I can repost my first post by just going in here, and I'm only changing this in this party. It doesn't change the template. Once you're in a party, it only changes that party. Good to know. So we're going to have that one go in a minute. Excuse me. These first 2 posts, I always post before, what am I trying to say? Before I invite the host as a co-host, because I don't want her adding people into the event if I don't have any posts in there yet. So I'm always really careful to make sure that those 2 posts get scheduled before I add her as my co-host. So we're going to do this one for 11:25. And then update. Oh, okay, maybe I can't do that. Sorry about that. Try that. 11:26. I don't know. I won't update. That's all right. Please change schedule time. Oh, because I scheduled both of them at the same minute. We don't want that. So we'll do this at 11:27. Anyway, this is not what we want to waste our time on in this video, so let's see if that will work. All right, let's just go back to the party, see where I'm messing us up here. This one is scheduled for 11:25. This one I was trying to schedule for 11:27 a.m. Let's see if that will work. Yep, that worked. Okay, so now we have the whole party all set up, and like I said, I can share this template with you. And let's go back to the party on Facebook. And here we are. And sure enough, our first post that we changed to 11:25 has already commented, and it's already posted, and you can see that it says Faith's in there. Faith and I look forward to. So it's all set up. In Post My Party, you can also schedule comments, but I don't want to go into that in this video. And there are little tutorials for how to do the comment scheduling and how to do the tokens and how to set up templates are all in there. It's very, very user-friendly. And as you guys know, I am not techie. So if I'm letting you know that it's something that I can do, I guarantee you can do it too. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I'm going to come back here to my Facebook binder. And really, this is where all of my action is. I can't imagine keeping up with my customers and who's ordered and who's hosting and how their party went without having everything in one place. So like I said, I highlight anyone who's ordered. I like to do it as I go. I like to be able to talk intelligently with my guests during a party if they're asking questions. Let's say they ask me a question about a book about the human body. Well, if I have a wish list for them, I know how old their kids are. And so rather than asking and finding out and being embarrassed about the fact, well, I already asked that and already knew that, I have it all written in front of me so I can easily be able to answer that question. So yeah, this is what I go to, this is what I keep, and I always have a place where everything for that party is kept. As I'm doing a Facebook party, it's right on my desk in front of me, and all I'm doing, because all of my posts are posting automatically, is answering questions in real time. I'm greeting people in real time. I'm typing away. I am posting thank you messages. If someone asks a question about a book, I can Google it. I might find a video. I might find a picture of the inside. I can post it. So I'm freed up to do all of those things while Post My Party is posting the actual party. And that's how it works. So you'll want to keep your binder open. You'll want to keep your email open so that as orders come in, you'll see them. And also one of the things that you'll want to do, let me share my screen with you again, is in Facebook, you'll want to always check your filtered mail, because sometimes guests will email or message you because they're embarrassed to post in the party, and but they'll have sent you a PM, and if you're not checking your filtered mail, you might not get that. So that's another good tip. The only other thing I would say is that the day after, when you go through and you tally up all the comments to do your giveaway, and you can use a random name generator, whatever you like to do. Everyone does it differently. Some people like to do a live video and pull a name out and announce the winner like that. You can do all kinds of things with prizes. The most important thing to know about the prizes, though, is that you want to post the winners in your event, but you want to private message them. So you'll post the winners and say, congratulations, please check your messages from me to pick your prize. And I like to do that by putting my host and my winner in one message and explain to them that they've won, but then offering them the upgrade if they book a party and giving them my next 2 available dates. I book most of my parties this way. I think it's a wonderful tool. If you're not familiar with the wording for that, please see the document about booking conversations that I've posted in Plot Twisters. And if you're watching this video and you're not on Plot Twisters, I believe I've shared it with your team leader as well, or you can message me for it, okay? Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful, and please do let me know if you have further questions. I'm happy to help. All right, thank you.